of the ground on which the word is cast, there is no fruit whatever. And I guess when you consider all facts, and we see how little results from a sermon as far as repentance and reformation and service is concerned, probably that proportion isn't too far off, 1 in 4. As you know, it's possible to have a closed mind to what is being said. You can sit in the church and you can look up at the pulpit and you can say, I dare you to change my mind. Don't preach to me. I have made my mind up about that subject a long time ago. We can be smug and self-satisfied. We can even feel that we know it all. In contrast to the closed mind, you as a hearer need to be wide open to desire knowledge and insight in life. And to get that openness, pray. Pray that His Word may be productive in your life, because it's also important that you pray for the preacher. Now, to receive the Word in our minds and in our hearts, we need to concentrate on the message that is being delivered. We need to pay attention to what is being said. It's easy to think of other things, maybe what you did last night, what you're going to make for dinner today, and what kind of a lousy schedule you arranged for yourself for this coming week, and you don't know when you're going to get it all done. There are a lot of things that grab our attention. And what we need to do is to capture these wandering thoughts and bring them into subjection. Concentration also calls for shutting out all the distractions that disturb us and don't allow us to listen properly. Loud noises, latecomers, whispering, child crying, a bee or a fly sailing around. As far as possible, ignore these distractions. And then the listener sets his mind on the Word, and with the grace of God seeks to take it all in. And only then is he preached to. And only then does the act of preaching really do any good or take effect. The good soil is the receptive soil. And that takes a little concentration on our part. We're all in that same canoe, I guess. There's so many things that we think about when we're trying to listen that it just doesn't happen. True, we need to be present to hear the Word. We may even go farther and listen to the Word. And we could even do better than that. Understand what is here, what is being heard. The preaching does no good if all of these things are not present. In the parable, some seed fell on good ground and brought forth great fruit. But what constitutes the good soil, Jesus said, the good soil is that which understands what is heard. There's a story about I read many years ago, but it's always one that stuck with me. When you hear something, do you hear it all? Do you really get the meaning of what is said? What do you get out of it? Do you get all the facts? And this is the story. A college president one time sent this note to his vice president. And this is what the note said. Next Thursday at 10:30 a.m., Halley's Comet will appear over this area, and this is an event which occurs only once every 75 years. Call the division chairman, have them assemble their teachers and classes on the athletic field, and explain this phenomena to them. Now, if it rains, then cancel the day's observation and have the classes meet in the chapel to see a film about the comet. Now, this is the message that went from the president's desk to the vice president's desk, from there to the chairman of the various divisions, and from that to the teachers, and then to the students. And this is what some of them wrote home. When it rains next Thursday at 10:30 a.m. over the college athletic field, the phenomenal 75-year-old president of the college will cancel all classes and appear before the whole school in the chapel, accompanied by Bill Haley and the Comets. Now, when the service is over and you go home, what do you tell the one who was too ill to worship today? Is the message kind of distorted or garbled? Did he really say what you said he said? You know, many a preacher gets into trouble because he's accused of saying something that he never said in his sermon. Now, how can you receive the word with understanding? Now, you need to have some knowledge about the Bible. You need to know God. You need to know Christ, the cross, your own human conditions. And in addition, you need faith to understand. You need faith to believe and accept the promises of God. Believers understand what God is saying to them through the Word. But where there is no faith, there is no acceptance of the Word. And that was the problem in Nazareth. The message which they heard did not benefit them because it did not meet with faith in the hearers. So as a worshiper, you too can preach, but do you? You do not if you're only present to hear the word, if you only take it in, even if you understand what is preached. Preaching is never complete until there is a response. A part of hearing is listening in terms of obeying what is heard. There's another little story. A mother had a 10-year-old son, and she was convinced he just doesn't hear very well. So she took him to the doctor and tried to explain to him what she felt was the problem. And after an extensive testing, it was revealed that there was no physical problem for his not hearing. And so the doctor put his hand on the boy's shoulder and he says, "Son, do you have any trouble hearing?" And the little fellow quickly answered, "I don't have any trouble hearing, doctor. I just have trouble listening." And I think that's one of the big difficulties we've all had. We hear, but we don't really listen. A sermon is meant not just to be heard and enjoyed, but also to be lived. The pastor delivers a sermon on Sunday in the church, and that then should be delivered during the week to the rest of the world, where they could see and hear that same message in their daily lives and conversations. So this is God's appeal to you and me. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear that your soul may live. He who has ears to hear, let him hear what God has to say. But he with ears will not hear unless preacher and hearer say it together. Amen.